This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Good morning, you all. Good morning. We start today with sort of a frustrating, tough, angry, full of complicated feelings story. We're starting with the school shooting here in Denver. It's less than 3 miles from where we sit right now. Parents were reunited with their kids yesterday at East High School after a 17-year-old student allegedly shot 2 school administrators while he was being patted down for weapons. According to the school, the student was on a, quote, safety plan that required him to have daily searches. Now, the suspect, who we are choosing not to show, that's what we do on this show, was found dead last night of apparent suicide. Believe it or not, this is the second shooting at this school in just a month. In February, a 16-year-old soccer player was shot while sitting in his car near the school and later died. As you can imagine, both students and parents are terrified, they are angry, and some of those parents even confronted police yesterday. Take a look.
Police just died here. You guys don't get it? There's been multiple swatting incidents. There'd be fire alarms pulled every single week. Come on, you guys need to get it. Be on top of it. These are our kids.
We are also hearing from the brother of the student who was shot and killed last month, and we want to show you what he told our local station here at 9 News.
I knew it was going to happen again. I warned as much people as I could that it was going to happen again. I talked to the principal and the deans and, some of the staff here, and they wanted police. This is not just an East problem. I guess it's a community problem.
So what are we doing? What are officials doing? Well, the superintendent, if you didn't know, committed now to having 2 armed officers put in place at schools in the district, which he says he knows actually goes against school board policy. He said he doesn't care. Is that enough? I just want to give you guys a little bit of information. This one person who we're not naming was removed from high school in Aurora, another city here in Colorado.
The shooter,
excuse me, before attending East, thank you, for violation of policy. He was then charged with a dangerous weapon possession in 2021. And again, he had to be searched every day for weapons because of his background. Let's just start there. Why was he at school? Why was he there?
I dealt with this in just for a personal anecdote here. My first year teaching, there used to be, you would have the meetings before every semester, and it'd be all the teachers in there, and they would announce the new transfers into the school. And this is a middle school I taught at in the mid-aughts. And somebody said, this student, whose name I'll leave out, is coming back, and the math teacher, I'll never forget, this is like a quiet, relaxed meeting. The math teacher pushed away from her desk, and she goes, no, he's not, had such an adverse reaction that I was 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what's going on? And the rap sheet on this kid, I could not believe, because he had been previously kicked out of the school that I was teaching in for doing something terrible. So I don't know why we're continuing to let people in and around schools when a lot of times it's so weird. It seems like the red flag laws and the things we've put in place are kind of sort of working. We are identifying these students. We are contacting their parents. This kid was getting daily pat-downs. It's not like people are saying this came out of nowhere, but it just seems like that final step of, yes, but then this still happened, always comes to fruition. So I don't know, Erica, I'm not saying it's weird because they're working, but we're still getting the same result.
And just really quickly, 56% of mass shooters exhibited dangerous warning signs. 56%.
Do you see how casual his brother was just talking about? Oh,
well, actually, this whole conversation is very casual because you're coming at it from the idea of, and not saying that's the intent behind it. It's just how we're speaking about it because of the nature of the world that we live in.
Yeah.
You're speaking about it as a former educator. I completely feel you because half my family are educators or former educators. I remember there being red flags for certain students and me having a lot of anxiety about my mom going to the high school or whatever, and not knowing what was going to happen to her. And that was before like mass shootings. That was just like the casual everyday, because of the nature of the place that she lived in or worked in, shootings, which by the way are the same, just so everyone knows, because there have been incidents of violence around schools and neighborhoods forever, still happens. It's just that it's infiltrating areas that it never infiltrated before. But I'm going to look at it from the idea of child welfare, because that's an arena that I have worked in and continue to advocate for. We are talking about this like we identify a student, a child, and then he's the problem or she's the problem, and then we just push them aside. But these children do not cease to exist in our communities. They don't become less of our neighbors. They don't become less of a problem. You're just passing the buck. Because essentially what we are all ignoring, because it's too political and polarizing, is the fact that we have a gun control problem. So now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say what Al is saying is correct, and I'm going to come at it from child welfare and be like, but what do we do? Because we can't just like, you think that they're going down some rabbit hole and they're never going to be an issue. You're just prolonging the problem. So I don't know how to have this conversation anymore. I'm actually exhausted by this conversation, as we all should be, because this has been 6 years that we've been sitting in here, live TV, and having this conversation.
I agree with you. I was coming in with anxiety in my stomach. Jeff, what do you think about this student being there, about gun control? What do you feel?
I don't know. I'm at a point now where, you know, I try to look at everybody's feelings, and we want the same thing for every single child, and that's just not the case. And even in society, with these rules that we're putting on everybody, we have signs. There are signs. There's kids walking around with dead kittens in their backpack and then shoot up the schools, and we're like, how did this happen? It's to the point now, it's like, if my kid comes home and they're like, this guy's really out of his mind and he scares me, and he's got to get daily pat down each day, it's like, now do I have to pull my kid out of that school? Right. I understand advocating for children. You got to get rid of that child. You got to take that child out of the equation. And who's going to help them? That's a whole nother story, right? What school does he go to? Right, where do you put them? But you can't just say, hey, we're going to do the best we can, because something is eventually going to happen. There's a ticking time bomb. We see it in more than half the school shootings. And when you say half, do the math. That's 500 children we could have stopped just shooting, let alone the killings. We could have stopped 500 shootings had we done something. But because of these laws that we put in, you don't talk to my child like that. You don't do this. I'm going to sue the school district. Well, I don't know. Even this school is fed up, because they're like, we're going against what the board said. We're putting security officers in there. We're putting guns in there, because now we had 2 school shootings within a week, and we have to do something about it. I don't care what you say on social media. This is our children that we're responsible for looking after, right? In a month, I'm sorry. And we're doing something about it. I don't care what you think up on your hill or down over here or in the middle of the country. It's happening here, and we're going to try to protect our children. Now we're putting armed guards in our school. It's ridiculous, the points that we're at, and the people that advocate for different sides, when it's all I care about is my kids. And it's 3 miles away now, just so you know. It's 3 miles away, and my wife texted me yesterday and said, do you know this school? Because it looked like the school next to where my child goes. And it's really close before one of us really hit home, and we're not here for a while because we're looking after a dead person that one of these kids shot that could have been stopped.
Well,
remember, I said the walls are closing in, Jeff.
Let us know what you guys.
3 miles away.
3
Walls
miles
are closing
away.
in.
I was at across the street from that high school this whole weekend. Let us know what you think on our YouTube app and also on our DBL app as well. Sorry, it's not easy to talk about. We'll be right back.
Somebody roll the clip.
Let's make sure we have Jeff's sex tape.
Wow, things are getting spicy here at DBL.
Cold-hearted snake, look into his eyes.
Let's roll that again, everybody.
I don't care. I don't feel things.
It's oh, thank you. Yeah, it's sad, Tor. I'm sitting here trying to think about just the shootings in Colorado we've covered.
It's so much Colorado, I feel like. Aurora.
But it's not just us.
Wait, go ahead, Erica.
So much Colorado, because this is
I might
what
be missing
I've
from that.
always like, the point of understanding is based on how it affects you. So yes, I do believe that Colorado has a lot, but so does
they don't want
everyone
it over
else.
here.
It's just that it hits us more because it's literally the state that we live in, so we're paying more attention. It's kind of like when we talk about things in the U.S. versus in other countries. It's so disconnected and removed from us that we don't see it as being real.
Here's my thought, and I don't want to be like super doomsday about everything, like I really don't, but I had a conversation with my mother. She's been an educator for 50 years. She's in higher education, and she just retired. And the state of higher education, when it comes to the School of Education, a lot of schools, prestigious universities, are wondering if they can afford to keep the lease on their School of Education buildings, because no one is going to school to become a teacher anymore. And honestly, it begs the question about what is the future of education for most students, because a lot of people are voting against their best interest. You are never going to, it's kind of like abortion. No one is ever, with means, is ever going to have a ineffective means of having a safe and effective abortion. That is always going to fall on what they consider the lower quartile. So when we're having conversations about public education, which is the most affordable option for most people, there is a problem. There is a problem. Think about it.
Welcome back to DBL. Thanks for writing in. We're going to shift gears now. Exploring the world and being a tourist are usually a ton of fun, as we've talked a lot, but we've got just a few videos for you that show just how badly things can go sometimes. Up first, a tourist in Thailand had a near-death experience. Watch this. When his bungee cord snaps mid-jump. Luckily, this all happened over the water, and the man was able to swim to safety even though his feet were tied together. He said the accident left him covered in bruises. Would you bungee? I think the one person here that's bungee jumped is our traveler, Jeffrey, correct?
Yeah, and I did it in Africa. I did it in Zambia. And when I did it, first of all, I was terrified. It was over the Zambezi River. That looked like a nice little pond he could swim out.
Right.
The Zambezi's full of hippopotamus and crazy alligators and all that stuff. So we did it. I did it, got the video and all that. I don't have it with me to show. But the story is 2 weeks later, 2 weeks, I was at home watching CNN, and they're like, oh, bungee jumper in Zambia cracked all of her ribs. The rope snapped, and me and my buddy were going to do a tandem bungee jump together, and they're like, buddy, you're a little bit overweight. So I couldn't go with them. So we did it individually. Had we gone together, that thing would have snapped. For sure.
No Jeffy. No Big Jeff.
For sure.
No Big Jeff.
No, Big Jeff would have had a couple busted ribs. Luckily, the girl who did happened to had a couple broken ribs, and she's okay. But she had to swim out of the Zambezi, not a little pond with the hippos and all that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't have that gene. Okay, I'm moving. I don't have that gene in me. I want to cross stitch by a fire. Okay, I just don't. We have zero. Okay, here's another one for you. Who doesn't like a good hot air balloon? I hate them.
I don't.
Especially, I hate them. See if you're going to see all the cherry blossoms in China. That's gorgeous. Well, these tourists are lucky to be alive after their hot air balloon went crashing into a reservoir shortly after takeoff. And get this, the folks in the basket then get dragged through the water by the wind. At one point, it looks like the whole thing is going to sink. Thankfully, the pilot kept it afloat by just using that gas burner like over and over again. They were all rescued, including a child, and local news reported no one was hurt. I have taken a hot air balloon. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It is fire with wicker and no steering. Why are we doing this? I threw up in the air and then I crashed on the bottom. Erica, please.
It looks pretty at a screensaver.
It does. It really does. It really does. Yeah. So when we first moved from the city to the suburbs, there was this, and I'm sure it's still an annual event, like the next town over, where they had like 40 hot air balloons. And I just remember thinking, like, I had never seen anything like that in my life, and I just couldn't understand why anybody would do that.
I don't get it.
Very, very young.
Right.
And then things started happening, and I was like, I always remember that image of like being 10 years old and being like, and nothing's changed 32 years later.
Little Erica, nope. Coming up on DBL, a pro-aging fashion influencer tells us all about how she is inspiring other 50-plus women to look and feel their best. She is fantastic. Stay tuned for that.
bedtime routine is an important part of calming down and preparing yourself for a good night's rest. And your routine may include a glass of wine, a mug of tea, a pop of melatonin, or even a dose of CBD. So let's verify what we know about how and how well they work with the help of these sources. And how about we start with a glass of wine? The sedative effects of alcohol may help you wind down and fall asleep, but the Sleep Foundation says that's also been linked to poor quality, shorter sleep as the alcohol works its way through your system.
Middle of the night awakening, to drink a glass or two with your dinner, stop that, and the problem tends to go away.
How about a glass of herbal tea, like the kind that's marketed for bedtime? The benefits of natural remedies like lavender and chamomile have been studied for centuries. And this NIH study from just a few years ago finds drinking herbal tea can help alleviate insomnia symptoms. Melatonin is a naturally occurring hormone in your body that helps you fall asleep at night, and it's also available in pill form. The Mayo Clinic and NSF say taking melatonin can help with short-term sleep issues like jet lag or schedule changes. Our sources say it's not generally habit-forming, but can cause headaches, next-day drowsiness, and even bad dreams. It is important to know it's not actually fully FDA regulated. Another increasingly common, largely unregulated sleep aid is cannabidiol, or CBD in various forms. This NIH study found proper CBD use could help alleviate anxiety-related sleep issues, but says more research is needed. And the Sleep Foundation explains even in existing research, it's still unclear if the CBD is actually helping with sleep or tackling other issues like stress and pain that keep us awake. If you have a regular, healthy routine and you're still having a hard time catching Z's, it could be a good time to talk to your doctor about specific remedies that could work for you. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Wow. She looks amazing. Welcome back to DBL. Holly Pan is changing how women over 50 view fashion. With millions of views on her videos, she is showing the world just how fabulous 50 really is. Earlier, we spoke with her. Check it out.
Please welcome to the show your fashion BFF, Holly Pan.
Yeah, Holly!
Hey, Holly.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're
Hi,
so
thank you for
excited to
having me.
have you. Yes, absolutely, because in our society, fashion tends to be a younger generation thing, but you're trying to break that stereotype. So how do we keep feeling young with our fashion?
My number one tip on how to keep feeling young is to have an open mind with style and fashion. Don't be afraid to try something new. Like a new color, a new style, don't be afraid to show a little bit of skin, because when you wear being bold with showing skin or wearing a bright color like what I'm wearing right now, that's a sign of confidence. And that gives people, that confidence will make you feel more radiant, and it's the best accessory.
Oh, those platform heels. Did you see those?
Unbelievable.
Speaking of skin, when it comes to mini skirts, should we be wearing them after 50? I'm wearing one right now.
You look good, Stems.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Mini skirt is just a style. Style has no age. So like when you get an invitation to an event, nobody tells you to dress your age. It only says dress for the occasion. So as long as the mini skirt looks good on you, you can rock them at any given age. Like my mother-in-law, she wears like tank tops at 80 years old.
Wow.
Because it looks good on her.
I'm lusting over
I
your
can
style.
tell. You're like going crazy.
Oh my
Sam's
gosh.
drooling while looking at the
The
monitor.
black look with
I
the
know, with the hood. I know.
yes.
Sam's
and the
gasped
jacket.
when that picture came up. Yeah.
Great style.
Holly, let me ask you about pastels. I don't love pastels. I'm just learning and leaning into that. Should I be leaning into that for spring? I always see them as a little wash me out a bit sometimes.
Well, pastel is a great color for springtime because it resembles all the flower that we see around. And it's a great color to have just to mix in. Even if you're not a pastel girl, you don't have to wear head to toe pastel. You can just use a pastel accessory or shoes. It's a little touch of color. It makes you feel more lively, more like fresh, like a new beginning type of, that type of feeling.
That'd be nice.
I'm a big fan of pastels.
Yeah, you do like baby pink,
I'm a
baby
big
blue.
fan. It's spring. I'm also a big fan of scarves. And your videos have a very unique way to wear some scarves, huh?
Oh.
Oh,
Yes.
I wasn't even thinking that.
Cool. That's like an Hermes kind of different kind of way.
Pretty.
Huh.
So
Yeah,
what is,
scarf. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, what is it that you like about scarves so much?
That one.
Well, scarf is just essentially as a piece of garment. If you think about it, it's like a piece of fabric that you can add on to any of the outfits when you need a little additional touch. I usually think scarf as a building. Think about it. If you're building an outfit like you're building a Lego piece, scarf is just a piece of Lego that you can add on top of things to make your own design unique.
All right, well, I want to stick with the scarves accessory themes. What are some like accessories that are must-have for women?
For any women, you can be different with your style choices, but one thing that really elevate your style is accessories. So have the right accessory always help.
Whoa.
I'm talking about handbags and shoes, necklaces, scarves, like all these things that can be personal. Also, you can invest in good ones, which will always make you look more put together, even if your outfit is not the most expensive one.
And Holly, for some of our viewers right now, where they're like, "Oh, I want to just like be just like Holly," what's one outfit that you can recommend that will look good on everybody?
I would recommend to go with something super classy and timeless. It's the Grace Kelly style, which means a fitted top or a top that flatters your upper body, and then either a big skirt or a big pair of like flare out pants, because that creates this very flattering A-shaped silhouette that pretty much looks good on everyone.
Holly, does anyone on your channel ever say like you're a liar and there's no way you're 50?
I know.
Yeah, all the time.
She's
Because,
unbelievable.
you know,
I'd be like, look at this
yeah.
18-year-old pretending she's selling 50-year-old outfits. You look great.
I mean, thank you so much. Thank you.
Holly, thank you so much. DBL Nation, you can follow Holly on TikTok at HollyPan or on Instagram at HollyHpan. Let's show the younger generation just how fabulous aging is. Holly, thank you again for joining us. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
Former President Donald Trump said in a post on Truth Social that he expected to be arrested on March 21st. Authorities have been investigating allegations that Trump paid hush money to adult film star Stormy Daniels following an affair. On March 21st, photos appearing to show Trump handcuffed and being dragged by police in Washington, D.C. went viral online. But are these photos legit? Let's verify. Our sources are Elliot Higgins, the founder of intelligence agency Bellingcat, Midjourney, an artificial intelligence tool, and the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. As of Wednesday, March 22nd, former President Donald Trump hasn't been arrested, so these pictures can't be real. What they are images generated using artificial intelligence. On Twitter, Elliot Higgins, the founder of intelligence and research agency Bellingcat, took credit for creating them. In his post, Higgins said, making pictures of Trump getting arrested while waiting for Trump's arrest. Higgins said he used Midjourney, a free artificial intelligence tool that allows the user to create realistic images, and he created lots of them. So we can verify, no, these viral images don't show Trump being arrested. They were created with artificial intelligence technology, and Trump hasn't been indicted or arrested on any charges. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Okay, I get it. It's never fun to sit down and do your taxes, but many tax professionals say the sooner you do it, the better, to either get your refund faster or make sure your taxes are paid on time without any penalty. So with inflation and lower refunds on many tax returns, we wanted to look at whether people are filing earlier or later and why.
To get answers, we looked at data from the IRS and spoke with Jackson Hewitt Chief Tax Information Officer Mark Stieber. Right as the tax season opened, the week of February 3rd, IRS data shows filers were hot out of the gate. Total returns process was nearly up 30% compared to last year.
By comparison, 4 or 5 weeks ago, it was up double digits, both total volume, taxpayers who electronically filed, taxpayers who used a professional, and taxpayers who did it themselves.
But then
it slowed way down.
By the end of February, total returns processed was only up by 4.3%.
And then it slowed down because people are probably expecting lower refunds.
$3,400 a year ago to $3,000 today. And those stats show the amount of people who have filed their taxes at this point in the season is about last year. Stieber says he expects to see a large number of people file at the very last minute.
About 55 million have filed so far. So that gives you about 110 million people that have, another 4 weeks or so to file and get those taxes done.
Those 11th hour filers, Stieber says, often owe money, and they're trying to postpone that painful payment to the bitter end. With your Verified Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back. We got some amazing products from our friends at Morning Save today. You ready to shop? Check it out. Steph, I got my shopping shoes on. What do you got for us?
Hello, Tori. Hi, DBL Nation. Guess what? I'm super excited to show you the fabulous things we've got on offer today. You're not going to want to miss this. Check it out. First up today, we have got, let me tell you, Tori, the Kangaroo Doorbell camera with a chime. So this doorbuster deal includes one doorbell camera and one chime. And Tori, I'm going to warn you right now, this is a crazy deal on a product that everyone needs to have. This is normally $40.
Okay, it's not bad.
Tori, we've got it for $10.
What?
That's saving 75%. All right, next up, this is so fabulous. It's the Cuisinart 16-piece cutlery and tool block set. So this deal includes everything that you need to make a great meal. Not to mention it looks so sleek. So normally, this set is $130. Tori, we've got it for only $59.99. So that's saving 54%. Next up, we've got the Pasonic S430 Sonic toothbrush with 12 brush heads. Ooh. So this deal includes one Sonic toothbrush and 12 brush heads and a stand. This is $60, but we've got it for just $29.99, which is saving up to 50%. Our last product today is a 2-pack of Ronda Sheer ribbed knit lace trim leisure bras. This deal includes 2 bras available in 2 color sets. We either got beige and mauve or beige and gray in sizes small through XXL.
Oh, that's a good range.
So normally 2 of these are $44, but you can get a 2-pack for just $19.99, which is saving up to 55%.
All right, guys, head on over. You know what to do, to morningsave.com. You got to snag these deals, the lowest prices, or you can even scan that QR code. It's right on screen. It's going to take you directly to these products Steph just showed you on Morning Save's website. Again, thank you so much, Steph. We were just talking a lot about bungee jumping. You didn't tell me it wasn't just down.
Well, I also did a zip line across the canyon and did a pendulum swing and the bungee jump.
Okay, you've put your time in.
Check, I'm done with that
The
stuff.
Secchi's guy. He's the most interesting man. Bye.
Am I?
No.